off this, and we can pour that back in the farm, and on bad years we're not making a loss anymore, type of thing, or much of a loss anymore. And as she grows that channel, that income is becoming greater and greater. Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly the thing. I mean, the problem is it's the maintenance of the equipment, it's the maintenance of the buildings, it's and purchase of seeds, fertilizers, and everything else. Playing for the expert to come out and test your dirt and all the rest of it, and it costs a fortune. So, Bin Pin, welcome to the stream, and how are you doing? Now, Welker's not one I've watched much of. I've only got so much time in the day to watch farms. I've sort of got into Millennial Farmer just because of who he is. This Farm Wife I've watched for a while, and she's kind of she makes her farming personal. So it's. They've got cattle. They feed the cattle. The cattle have calves. They've just recently gone through selling their male calves to the butcher, but they've held on to them this year because the meat market, because the abattoirs were in so much trouble because of COVID and they shut down. Nobody was buying, the price of the animals fell through the floor. So they were worried, we're not going to get what we normally get for our cows. And that's a problem. So they, could say, bet the farm on, we'll take a chance feeding our calves for another 6 months that the price will recover. I'm not sure it did. They were a little disappointed with how much they got for selling their calves. No idea if the no idea if they covered the cost of the food, but they do grow, obviously, their own food. They do corn silage every year. They do. Usually a winter crop that they sell for money, but this year their barley that they did really didn't do well. So they retained the barley on the farm and fed the cows with them. But that meant no income from arable crops. Their soybeans are very sad because they flooded 3 times early this year during planting. Their corn is horrible. I don't know that they're going to make much silage out of it this year. But their hay's been, the grass has been doing good this year, so they have a lot of hay coming up to the end of the year. But they need that from, this month, next month, all the way through to spring. I know that, yes, the Millennial Farm was released and is being modified further, I believe. Oh, right, yes. Okay, yes. I knew it had come out. I wasn't aware that there had been issues. I mean, I have, aside from the Saturday morning stream, I have not played a lot of Farming Simulator for 6 months, because we moved. Hail team, thank you for the cheer. So I haven't been keeping up to date with what farms, what maps have been produced. I tend to log into the mod hub daily and check for updates on the mods I use, and occasionally download a new mod that takes my interest. So I don't know. I seem to be a fan of Valtra, so they introduced the Valtra G this week. So I downloaded that whenever it came out. Sort of, that looks interesting. I downloaded Giant's John Deere 6M. I have not joined the Giants Partner Program. I'm not sure I'm really large enough to, but... Yes, he did. I also think Tom Pemberton's farm is also being worked on. He's a UK farmer. He's not a regular show I watch. I did watch him probably a couple of months ago now. He put in a sort of a back scratcher for his cows in the field, and cows are awesome because he's in the entire video of that was just the guy came in, they dug a hole, they laid concrete, they stuck this metal pole in, and then put this sort of brush back scratcher at the top of the pole. So they drive into the field and all the cows come over, and it's kind of like, what are you doing? Can we help you? And they dug the hole, and so the cows all came and looked down the hole, and then they put the metal plate on, and the cows are just, bumbling around doing all sorts of stuff. And it was just so funny to watch these cows just sort of it's sort of something's going on here, and we need to supervise it. And then at the end, when they put the brush on the top, it's sort of, we need to investigate this. And the first one comes over and sort of butts his head against it, and it's like, oh, that's good. And stands there scratching his back for a bit. And then the others are sort of, hey, wait up, our turn. And, cows are just awesome things. And so I watch a little bit of Tom Pemberton. I watch a bit of Ollie's Farm as well, and primarily, I watch English farms to see, obviously, how do European farmers do it, because I play a lot of English farms, so I kind of, I want to kind of try and be as realistic as possible. So that kind of helps. But it's just interesting to see some people. But it's kind of like TV. I will watch a cop show, but like when CSI was out, I started off watching CSI and sort of that's a good show. And then you got, what was it? CSI Miami and CSI New York, and sort of, I can do one CSI show. That's all I really need to watch. And then I watched House. And so, no, I'm not going to watch whatever the Chicago Hospital show is, or Grey's Anatomy, or any other medical show. I've got a doctor show, so I'll just watch that one. And so for farmers, I tend to, I'll watch a couple, but I'm not going to spend my day watching all of them. I don't watch Cole the Corn Star very frequently. He's just too high energy and not my style. So they aren't on anymore, but they were all just laying on like NCIS. It's sort of, I'll watch one, but it's sort of but watching NCIS, I probably won't watch any other crime investigation shows. Because, why do I want to? I'll stick with the one with the characters I know and leave it at that. But I'll look at, if I'm interested in, say, how do they do silage in the UK? I will intentionally Google farming channels that have silage videos, and I've found a lot of farming, agricultural channels are just music with a cute girl driving a tractor and doing whatever the video says they're doing. So, collecting silage in autumn of 2013. And, it's sort of, okay, well, it's good to watch how it happens, but it's about as useful as watching the promo video for the cabless Case IH tractor robot thing. Okay, fine, I can watch it once, but it doesn't really tell me anything. I would state a preference to farmers to explain what they're doing and why they're doing it. But I'm looking for specific instances of farming happening. NCIS is NCIS. Now I thought the California one had ended, so what are the three NCISs? There's obviously the original one. There's the one with Quantum Leap guy in New Orleans, I believe. And there was a Los Angeles one, but I thought that had been cancelled. But right now, I'm really not watching any TV. I've burnt out all the TV shows I watched. I did used to watch NCIS, the original, but we kind of stopped watching it and never got back into it. So don't watch that anymore. I guess if I knew when it was on and what have you. And I think that's the problem. The problem with NCIS, it's a CBS show, and CBS had the option of being part of Hulu, and they decided not to do it. And they've created their own streaming channel, but you have to pay a premium to be on it. And I personally don't see the benefit of the CBS streaming service, because it's pretty much only CBS shows. And paying membership on Hulu, I can watch everybody else's shows except CBS. And so that's the direction we went with. I don't do YouTube Premium. I have cable, and I have cable TV and a cable telephone, but only because bundled together it actually makes the internet cheaper. I used to have Netflix, but we cancelled that. Netflix has really just gone. The thing, when I first moved to Michigan from Texas, I was living in a hotel, and Netflix made sense. I was here a long time, or long term, and being able to borrow DVDs and basically select series that I wanted to watch was a great thing, and to be able to have access to some streaming stuff at the time was also a great business model. Now I could, obviously there were more things available on DVD than on their streaming service, but the streaming service supplemented the DVDs. And it took 2-3 days to cycle through a DVD. You receive it, once you watch it, you send it back, and they send you the next one in your series. And it would take 2 to 3 days, and with 3 DVDs in your hand at any given time, I could keep up quite well. And at any point I ran out of DVDs to watch, I could watch something on the stream, so it wasn't a big deal. But at the time, it was sort of, Netflix was trying to put Blockbuster out of business, and there was no other cat in town, so they had the run of everything. And then Amazon Prime comes out, and Amazon Prime is obviously movies for the most part, so kind of competing with Netflix, but not entirely. But then Hulu comes out, and all of the TV stations start doing their own streaming. For the most part, it was NCIS. Last week's episode is going up on stream the day before this week's episode gets broadcast on TV. So it was always a week delay on their shows. But it was starting to push out Netflix, and slowly you had, Hulu had their own content, plus they wanted to get into movies as well. So these started negotiating with the movie producers and eating into Netflix available content. And Netflix content really started going downhill. They couldn't get what the volume of stuff that they used to have. And so over the course of time, I'm looking at Netflix, and it's sort of, you've increased your rates, and I don't see any more. I see less now than I used to be able to get on their service 4 or 5 years ago. And it's sort of, where's the value for money? It's gone. Now, we gave up satellite TV back in 2013, I think it was. And so we've got Amazon Prime because of Amazon Prime, not because of their streaming content. Because we used to order a lot of things through Amazon. It just made sense to have Amazon Prime for the frequent free shipping or shipping benefits that you got from being a Prime member. The streaming service was just a sort of icing on the cake. And then we got Hulu because Mrs. Osa watches a lot of TV shows on Hulu, which are only available on the paid service. And it wasn't cable TV or satellite TV, and it was a lot cheaper than a subscription to satellite TV or cable TV. So we kind of settled. Hulu is one of the services we subscribe to. Amazon Prime, because it's Amazon Prime. Plus we get Twitch Prime because we've got Amazon Prime, so that's kind of cool. But we've pretty much given up everything else, and I just don't watch live TV. So when I watch a show now, I tend to blitz it. I think the last TV show I watched was The Orville, which I believe has gone to, Fox TV was bought by Disney. Disney opened their own streaming channel, which I could get at a discounted rate because I think it's Disney bought Fox is a co-owner of Hulu, so Disney now has access to Hulu as a streaming platform. And they've said the Orville is going to be a Hulu exclusive because it's not really a family-friendly show, so it's not ideal for the Disney Plus service. So, but still waiting for the next season of The Orville to come out, which keeps getting delayed every year, so who knows when that's happening. The other major show I started watching recently was The Expanse, which was on Sci-Fi, but Sci-Fi dropped it because Sci-Fi is another channel I used to watch a lot of and just got completely disillusioned with when they changed how they spelt it. And I can't remember, it's Amazon Prime picked that up, and that's a good sci-fi show, so watched that. I blitzed that one. It was sort of, hey, we've picked up the season 3 or whatever it was, and here's 1 and 2. So, yeah, okay, I'll watch those back to back. Yeah, we don't even bother with the sports anymore. I mean, the thing with a lot of the sports now is they've got so politically, biased that it's sort of, look, you're playing sports to entertain people, or are you just making a political statement? Because I don't watch sports to get politics shoved down my throat. So, yeah, we haven't watched sports for a few years either. Well, it looks like it's 8:15 game time and getting very dark. So I'll finish this little triangle off. We'll head back to the yard, find our deck chairs, take a nap, and do the field we limed. See how far we get into what's the real world? Actually, it's 9:41. Well, that's 20 minutes left on the time I allocated for streaming. So I think we will set the goal for today's stream to get the cultivating on our third field done. And I may be back tomorrow if I have time. I might need to go to the store tomorrow, so we'll see. I'm as far as weekday streaming, I'm considering 2 days a week streaming. So 1 day before Wednesday and 1 day after Wednesday, probably Thursday, and possibly Tuesday rather than Monday. But we'll see how it goes this week and maybe next week. Though next week's holiday weekend, so I am going to be streaming Monday morning next week. Oakfield Farm. Oops, let's turn the lights off, turn the engine off, jump out, find the deck chairs. So it is 8:30. If I go 12 hours, let's go 11 hours. So I will. I think I will stream tomorrow. I will stream Thursday. I'm not going to stream Friday, because that gives me a chance to get an early night and get ready for the Saturday morning stream, which may be interrupted because we have prospective adoptive child next weekend. And I believe she's arriving on Friday evening, so another reason not to stream on Friday. Well, and so Saturday morning stream will be what it will be. She goes home. She goes back to her foster parents on Sunday afternoon, so Monday will be clear, so Monday will be definitely a full Oakfield Farm stream. So I probably won't stream next week Monday evening. But we'll see we'll see what the schedule leads to. I'm not going to publish anything definite on my Twitch schedule page until I've kind of come up with something I'm comfortable with doing. So Mrs. Oso and I are definitely settling into a nice routine in the new home. How's that look? I don't know. We'll drag the dirt and see what happens. There we go. So I think I can probably stream some evenings. I'm not going to be streaming 5 nights a week. Plus Saturday, it's going to be Saturday plus a couple of nights of the week. I just have to figure out which 2 nights those couple are going to be. There may be some more family cooperative farms as time passes on. We may have a Mrs. Osa farm, we may have adoptive child farm. At the moment, she joined me on a farm last week on Saturday and had a fun time. I also had our former foster kids, the elder lad, played farm sim yesterday with me. Not yesterday, Saturday evening with me. Took me a little while to get that set up, so we didn't play for long. But now that's set up, that's something we can do together. That's probably not going to be streamed at all or YouTubed because he's only over once every 2-3 weeks, so it's not something that would be a consistent release, but it's something we can play together as a thing, because we don't do a lot. He's interested in playing his computer games. He comes over, he spends most of his time on his cell phone playing games or watching YouTube videos or whatever, and not really participating with the rest of the family. So this is a chance to get him to sort of participate with us, and he enjoyed that, so I'm going to keep that up as something you don't get to observe. Yeah, bonding, that's the thing. And he doesn't have a PC at home. He does have a PlayStation 4, but I don't do PlayStations. So maybe if Farm Sim 21 or 22, whatever they end up calling it, is a cross-platform game, there would be the option for me to play with them a little bit more frequently, but right now not so much. Which way does this field go? Well, it's kind of square. I got those two right. They go up and down, but this field's kind of the same width as it is length. So yes, kid bonding through farm sim. That can be a thing.